Before there were gods, before there was sky, or land, or sea, before time learned how to move forward, there was nothing. No light, no darkness, no sound, no silence. Just a vast, endless emptiness, stretching farther than thought itself. And yet, within this nothingness, something was already waiting. Not a god, not a monster, not even a world, but a gap, a yawning void so ancient that even the gods would one day fear its memory. This is the story of what existed before the Norse gods, before Odin, before Thor, before the 9 worlds. This is the story of Ginnungagap. In Norse mythology, creation does not begin with a command or a divine plan. It begins with absence. The ancient Norse believed that before anything existed, there was Ginnungagap, a vast, bottomless void, neither hot nor cold, neither light nor dark. It was not chaos in the way we imagine chaos today. It was not destruction. It was not evil. Ginnungagap was potential, a silent space where nothing had yet decided what it would become. To the north of this void lay Niflheim, a realm of freezing mist, eternal frost, and rivers of ice older than memory itself. To the south lay Muspelheim, a world of fire and heat, ruled by flames so intense they could not be approached, even by the gods who would later be born. Between these two extremes, ice and fire, cold and heat, stood Ginnungagap. At first, nothing happened, but in Norse myth, stillness never lasts forever. From Niflheim, rivers known as the Ilivagar flowed outward. They carried ice, venom, and frozen breath into the void. At the same time, waves of heat drifted northward from Muspelheim. Sparks, warmth, movement. When the warmth touched the frozen rivers, something impossible occurred. The ice began to melt, and from that melting, life emerged. From the dripping frost of Ginnungagap was born Ymir, not a god, not a human, a giant. Ymir was the first living being in Norse mythology, a creature so ancient that even the gods would later trace their existence back to him. He did not have parents. He was not created with intention. He simply happened. As Ymir slept, his body produced more giants, born from his sweat, his breath, and his flesh. This detail is important. In Norse mythology, life does not emerge cleanly or beautifully. It is raw, strange, almost unsettling. Creation is not orderly. It is organic. But Ymir was not alone. As the ice continued to melt, another being emerged from Ginnungagap, a cosmic cow named Othumla. She was massive, ancient, gentle. From her flowed 4 rivers of milk, nourishing Ymir and keeping him alive. While Ymir fed on the cow's milk, Othumla fed on something else entirely, the salty ice itself. As she licked the frozen blocks, something began to take shape beneath the ice. On the first day, hair appeared. On the second, a head. On the third, a complete being emerged. His name was Buri. Buri was not a giant. He was the first of the gods. Strong, beautiful, and already different from Ymir and his offspring. Buri would become the grandfather of Odin, Vili, and Ve, the gods who would one day shape the world itself. But at this moment in the story, none of that had happened yet. The universe was still young, unbalanced, and dangerously unstable. Giants multiplied. Gods began their lineage. And Ginnungagap, the great void, still existed between them. This is the key idea of this story. In Norse mythology, creation begins with tension, fire pressing against ice, giants rising before gods, order slowly forming inside chaos. Unlike many mythologies where gods create the universe, in Norse belief, the universe creates the gods. Ginnungagap is not just a place, it is a concept. It represents the space before decisions are made, before order, before meaning. Even after the gods shape the world, Ginnungagap is never truly gone. It remains between realms, between life and death, between fate and choice, and perhaps most importantly, between creation and destruction. The Norse believed the universe was not eternal. It would one day fall apart during Ragnarok, and when that happens, the world does not return to nothing. It returns to a state very much like Ginnungagap. Not an end, but a pause, a breath before something new begins. This is what makes Norse mythology unique. Creation is not perfect. The first beings are not wise or kind. The gods are not all-powerful. They struggle. They make mistakes. They inherit a broken universe and try to shape it into something meaningful. And it all begins here. Not with light, not with words, but with a void. A silent gap where ice and fire meet. Ginnungagap teaches us that emptiness is not useless, that nothingness can be fertile, that from uncertainty, entire worlds can be born. In the next chapter of this series, we will see how the gods confront the chaos they inherited, how Odin and his brothers make a decision that will change everything, a decision that requires blood, sacrifice, and the death of the first being ever born. Because the world of the Norse gods is not created from light. It is created from a body, and that body belongs to Ymir. But that is a story for the next episode.